What's up, everybody? Let's talk NFC side of things. Well, a few teams can find themselves where the Philadelphia Eagles are in next year's Super Bowl. For instance, the San Francisco 49ers. The last 2 years, they've put themselves in position to be in the Super Bowl but come up short in the NFC Championship game. With General Manager John Lynch and head coach Shanahan, they seem to have a really good chemistry and understanding for what they're looking for and the talent that they need to search to perfect their schemes. There's one characteristic that hasn't changed throughout the years about the San Francisco 49ers, and that's they're going to have a tenacious front seven. Defensive line that gets after the quarterback, a linebacker that could diagnose what the offense is presenting to them and run from sideline to sideline. As an offense, the 49ers are going to continue to rely heavily on the run, which is their bread and butter, and their comfort zone. Both quarterbacks, Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, are going into the offseason rehabbing and trying to overcome injuries that they sustained in this past season. That said, having a young quarterback, the run game is going to be their best friend. Shanahan does a really good job of masking the last formation by having a number of motions going into a game, trying to confuse the defense and reveal to the quarterback if they're man or zone and what they're facing to get to the best play. It's going to be really interesting, but I do believe in Lynch and Shanahan that they will find themselves with a deep run and possibly putting themselves in position to win the NFC West yet again. The Dallas Cowboys, who gets everyone's best. Being a national team with a lot of hype, they're always going to get the most out of their opponents. But the Cowboys have already started their offseason moves by releasing offensive coordinator and the head coach of naming himself as the play caller for the 23 season. With that said, a new look in offense, they're going to have a young backfield as well, I believe. Tony Pollard was hurt late in the season, and Zeke, I believe he's seen his last days in Dallas. They have to win the games that they are expected to win, and in those big moments in primetime games, they have to win those as well. It's going to be a lot of expectation for Dak to throw in tight windows and creating big moments when they present themselves. As a defense, Dallas is as stingy and as talented as anybody in the National Football League. They're going to have to continue to create turnovers and get the ball back to their offense. Dallas Cowboys are going to have to play smart football. They have to be disciplined and not have unnecessary penalties in the waning moments of games. They're going to have to continue to create turnovers and get the ball back to their offense. Lean heavily on that massive offensive line and Dak making plays that we all expect him to do. And it's not quite the worst or first team, but it's my team that's going to surprise a lot of people in the 23 season. That's no other than the Detroit Lions. From front office and their general manager and Brad Holmes, head coach Dan Campbell, I believe they've done a phenomenal job in changing the culture and building belief in that locker room. Led by the quarterback Jared Goff, who I'm very familiar with, he's leading this young team in a very tough division, a division that now has turned to be wide open. I believe they're not afraid of Minnesota Vikings. Green Bay, they've shown that they have their number. And Chicago is still in a rebuilding phase of things. Their dynamic duo of running backs between DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, they have everything that an offense needs. In their defense, they get after the ball carriers. The Lions position themselves well to be the champions of the NFC North, bringing back the days in the 90s and the playoff runs that they had. The blue and silver is ready to explode on the scene, and I can't wait to watch them. From my days as a youth, watching Herman Moore, Barry Sanders, and the rest of the legendary greats, it'd be really good to see a new team representing the NFC, and why not the Detroit Lions?